Have you ever met a person who walks into a room and instantly draws the eye, not because they are loud or ostentatious or trying too hard, but simply because their energy is irresistibly captivating? This is what we refer to as quiet appeal. It is not that you look for the spotlight, you earn the respect and admiration. It's a quiet kind of charisma, grounded in serenity, self-possession, and deep self-confidence, that gets attention without uttering a word. It doesn't take great looks or over-the-top displays of charm to be silently attractive. Rather, it comes from how you carry yourself, how you relate to others, how comfortable you feel in your own skin. It's about becoming comfortable with habits that exude confidence, warmth, and self-respect while avoiding attention. The best part: you don't have to become a different person in order to cultivate this sort of presence. All you need to do is become more in alignment with your highest potential. In this episode, we'll reveal 11 hacks to become more socially attractive based on Stoic principles. They are neither gimmicks nor trickery, but timeless truths that bolster your internal landscape, enhance your emotional IQ, and foster an unbreakable sense of confidence that makes you far more attractive to all the right people. Today, I want to talk about the power of independence, the art of quiet elegance, and the development of wisdom, and how all these will change your persona. By the end of this episode, you're going to learn that real attractiveness is not something you run around and chase. It's something you develop in yourself. It's steady, it's quiet, and when you crack it, you'll find out how it changes the way other people look at you and the way you look at yourself. And so, let's get started. Because to become silently attractive is never to be loud. It is to make a credible impact without ever having to raise your voice. Habit number 1: live your genuine independence. People that do not need any external validation of their worth are incredibly powerful. Not needing any approval to feel whole, there's a quiet fortitude in those who continue to feel level in themselves. Real independence isn't about retreating from other people or proving you don't need anybody. It means living according to your values, living your life as you choose, and being happy with yourself rather than the view of you held by others. This kind of independence is attractive because it communicates without saying a word. I respect myself, and the way I feel about myself is not contingent upon praise from others. True independence is a rarity in a time when so many are lost in comparison and validation. It's refreshing, it's inspiring. Those who exude it aren't out to impress. They're only trying to better themselves, improve, and make sense of why they're here. And that silent focus can say a lot. Confidence. You don't need to tell them you are confident. They will feel it. You do not need to let other people know that you are ruling your life. It will be obvious in your perfect demeanor, in the calm way you wade through the rivers of life. But independence doesn't come easy. It takes the bravery of believing in yourself when no one is in your corner, rooting you on. It means holding to your decisions when they are unpopular. It is being okay being with yourself, not avoiding people, but because in yourself you've found real peace. Once you pass that point, when what others think has ceased to matter, you become a person that everyone else respects deeply. People respect people who are secure in being themselves, not because they have no relationships, but rather because their relationships are not predicated on dependence, but rather on mutual respect. To develop this practice, reflect and introvert on your fundamental values. Take a moment and ask, am I living with intention based on what is meaningful to me, or is it because of what others have decided and reactively pushing me? When you do what your heart tells you to do, not because somebody else says you should, that is true independence. Be alone, not because you're lonely, but because you want to reconnect with yourself. Whether you're heading out on a peaceful walk, journaling, or providing yourself with opportunities to sit in stillness, these moments will help build your sense of self. Develop authentic independence, and you won't have to seek attention. It will seek you. They will feel the quiet confidence in your presence, the quiet faith in your action, the relentless strength in your character. But independence doesn't equal disinterest in relationships. You want your relationships not to be built on insecurity or neediness, but on mutual respect and trust. In that way, not accepting less is the opposite of selfishness. That's what makes it so appealing. It's heavy-set, even-handed, and deeply potent. Habit 2. Speak best in silent elegance. Some of the most significant words do not contain any words at all. Silent elegance, at least to me, is the art of gliding through life with grace, poise, and unbothered confidence. You'll find that in the way you present yourself, the energy you put out, and the way you engage with the world. You don't have to be the loudest or biggest presence in the room to earn respect. You are on October 2023. It's understated, elegant, and totally gripping. Imagine when someone enters a room with calm, assured grace and calm. They don't announce themselves, and yet people instinctively register them. That's the force of quiet confidence. It's a blend of poise, restrained movements, and intentional action. Your body language is part of this presence. Sure, confidence begins with bloviation, but it goes to how you stand, walk, and carry yourself. A relaxed, upright posture and steady eye contact present confidence without cockiness. Unnecessary fidgety movements can come off as anxious, while simplicity in motion radiates serenity. One other aspect of silent elegance is walking, moving, and acting with grace. Small actions, saying hi with an open smile, being a good listener, treating people respectfully, lead to dignity and thoughtfulness. These are not wild behaviors, just plain simple yet subtle actions that aches a long way. Apart from body language and etiquette, self-control is a part of quiet elegance. In a cacophonous world where even the smallest disagreement can turn into a social media firestorm, the true power lies with those who are able to stay calm in moments of discord. Staying calm when the people around you are becoming reactive or angry gives you an undeniable sense of power. This is what the Stoics talked about as self-control. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The closer a man comes to a state of calmness, the more he is the source of his powers." When your actions are deliberate and your words are calculated, and you are simply steady, that calm is pure elegance. If you wish to cultivate silent elegance, begin by carrying yourself in a more conscious way. Observe yourself during the day if you're wound up, frantic, or reactive. Deliberately make an effort to slow down, to stand tall and breathe deep. Be mindful of your interactions. Are you actually listening, or just biding time until you can speak? Refinement is another facet of elegance. It's not about being perfect, but it is about putting the best version of yourself in front of others, consistently. Through carefully considered clothing, direct and purposeful communication, or smooth maneuvers around awkward situations, elegance is made in small, purposeful decisions. Silent elegance is not putting on the air of sophistication. It's dressing sophisticatedly in your thoughts, actions, and interactions with the world. Gradually, they will begin to associate your presence with calm, respect, and grace. They might not even know why, but they will feel it. And that's what makes silent elegance so potent. Then you navigate life with grace and indomitable power. You don't have to demand respect. It'll be given. It will come. By exuding calm grace, you stand apart from the crowd, and through this process, come to be memorable in a way that is not a product of sheer force, but of the energy unleashed into every space in which you step foot. Habit 3. A whiff of sophistication. Often, the tiniest details create the most memorable impressions. Scent is one of the most underrated but powerful forms of silent attraction. A well-selected scent doesn't have to be strong, it just needs to linger, returning you in the minds of those who saw you to an elegant, sophisticated figure who haunts their thoughts long after your exit. Consider, how many times have you thought of someone simply because you happened to smell them? The sense of smell is closely linked with memory and emotion. A quiet yet head-turning scent says a lot. It conveys an attention to detail, a level of care, and a quiet confidence that does not draw an eye, but commands one. But this isn't just about perfume or cologne, it's about finding the balance between one's personal smell and the art of subtlety. Too much scent can be overwhelming, whereas a subtle, sophisticated perfume, woody, fresh or lightly sweet, creates a draw that makes others want to be within your orbit. It's a subtle but strong statement of, I am part of the world, and I appreciate the little things. In those tiny elements, real quiet desire is developed. The art of scent is about more than just smell. It's about what smells stand for. Scent has a great way of awakening our senses, and the intentionality behind choosing the right scent for you speaks volumes about your level of self-awareness. Whether you prefer something soft and clean or richer and deeper, your fragrance should not overpower, but complement your presence. Beyond scent, personal grooming and hygiene are integral to silent attractiveness. One also communicates indirectly that one respects oneself with well-kept hair and breath, and clean, polished appearance. This isn't vanity. It's about caring enough about yourself to show the world your best wami. And when others notice you take the time to take care of yourself in these subtle ways, it communicates an understated elegance that is organically magnetic. And Stoics believed that that external presentation should be a reflection of inner discipline. Seneca once counseled, "Let your outward bearing be simple and dignified, such as befits the inner peace of your mind." To add this habit to your daily life, it helps to begin with your signature scent, something that harmonizes with your persona and esprit and pulls it up rather than overwhelming it. Pay mind to the smaller personal care pieces, making sure your personal grooming captures that almost invisible elegance you want to channel. Silent admiration isn't about vying for attention, it's about being inherently unforgettable. And fragrance, when employed with canny pleasantries and precision, leaves a potent, memorable mark, a silent signature that echoes after you've left the room. Habit number 4, being fully present. In a time where all sorts of distractions are coursing through our lives, there is something remarkably magnetic about someone who is really present. Being fully engaged is not just about being physically there, it's about being present, mind, body, and soul, for the moment and the people around you. No, this practice of yours is what stands out, because you don't do it to grab attention, but to provide an increasingly scarce commodity, a sense of genuine connection. The words active listening might feel like a joke to anyone who has ever tried to talk to someone who wasn't really listening. They are in another place mentally. Their eyes race to their phone, or they seem to be impatiently waiting to speak. It feels that they are being dismissive, as if our words do not mean anything. Conversely, when you're in the thick of a conversation with someone, where they maintain steady eye contact, listen with skill, respond with curious thoughtfulness, it just feels different. It feels rare. That's the subtle strength of being present. It attracts them because it validates them and allows them to feel seen, heard, and understood. And when people feel appreciated in your presence, they don't forget you. The whole present position isn't related to perfection. It's about intent. It means fighting the impulse to look at your phone, plan your next sentence when someone else is speaking, or let your mind drift. It's about being fully present in the moment, listening to the conversation and responding with real thoughtfulness. In Stoic philosophy, living in the here and now is a huge deal. Marcus Aurelius once observed, "Lock yourself into the present." The Stoics recognized that the past is long gone, while the future is not here yet, so the only time we really have is now. Which is why, if we are going to show strength and wisdom, we must be present in this moment, engaging with it fully, not lost in thought about what has happened or what is yet to come. To make this a habit, try mindfulness in your daily interactions. Whether you're talking to someone, eating your lunch, or walking outside, be fully present to the experience. Put away distractions. Listen intently before you reply. When you are in the moment, you feel more calm, confident, and caring, and therefore give others a sense that it is safe to be with you and that they matter to you. This makes presence magnetic. It's so rare. When you give your undivided attention, people are drawn to you. You don't need to be noticed. Attention seeks you out, not because you're attention-getting, but because the intensity of your observation makes other people feel genuinely seen. Habit number 5. A touch of mystery. In a world of oversharing, there is something fascinating about a person who keeps a little mystery going. A touch of mystery does not mean being cold or secretive. It means sharing just enough to create a connection while keeping some parts of yourself to yourself. When you tell everyone everything about yourself from the get-go, there's no mystery, nothing left to find out. But when there are pieces of you and your life you withhold, you create intrigue around yourself that draws people in with curiosity and a desire to know more. This is not a matter of psychological mind games or being insincere or phony. It's about being discriminating about what you reveal. You have no obligation to explain every decision, to constantly seek validation, or let everyone in on your inner workings. Instead, allow your actions to speak for your words. When you make a bold move, let it be what it is and need no justification. Have a personal goal and pursue it until it speaks for itself. Self-restraint and control over speech is something the Stoics placed a very high value on. As Epictetus taught, "Be silent, or your words be more valuable than silence." The principle of mystery is about the same philosophy. Not everything needs to be shared. To develop this habit, ask yourself, am I sharing because I want to, or because I feel I should? Am I saying what I mean, or am I oversharing for the sake of validation? Mystery is best achieved with RSVP compression. It means opening up to people little by little so they can learn new things about you as the years go by, instead of spilling everything all at once. Exude depth through depth, and let every interaction with you feel like an experience filled with layers. When you develop mystery, you fit no neat box. You won't be someone that people can pick in an instant, and that subtle depth keeps you from a memory. In an era when people put everything on display, become the person who shows just enough and yet not so much that others don't want to know more. Combined with quiet confidence, mystery creates an irresistible presence, imprinting itself upon the minds of everyone you meet long after the conversation has finished. Habit number 6. Develop cultural intelligence. There is something intrinsically fascinating about people with an air of quiet confidence and a wide-open perspective on the world. It is a habit that brings depth to your presence in conversations, allowing you to hold space with insight, curiosity, and contemplation. It's not about broadcasting how much you're in the know. It's about being someone who listens, learns, and offers perspectives that spark real discussions around more interesting topics. Cultural wisdom is more than just knowing facts about people, places, customs, or traditions. It's about becoming deeply curious about the human experience. It means being receptive to views that are different from your own, being aware of the many layers of culture and the beauty of the diversity of other cultures, and being engaged with a wide variety of people in a way that is intuitive, effortless, and really engaging. Why is this attractive? Because who doesn't want to be around people who expand your mind? This is when you develop cultural wisdom. You become a person who can have a conversation that feels refreshing, thought-provoking, and full of depth. You become an emotionally intelligent person who can read the room, who knows that people come from diverse places, and who is able to add value without dominating the conversation. We are attracted to people who know how to make us feel seen and heard and understood. Your ability to talk with people from all walks of life without judgment makes you someone others appreciate and respect immensely. A key element for the Stoics was a good understanding of the world and one's place in it. Marcus Aurelius say, "Look beneath the surface. Let not the outward appearances mislead you." And this is the heart of cultural wisdom. It's not just reading people, but reading life. It enables you to navigate difficult social scenarios with ease, grace, and thoughtfulness. To gain cultural wisdom, expand your vision. Plenty of books that push you out of your perspective. Talk to people with different backgrounds and experiences from yours. Travel whenever you can, or learn about new cultures through film, documentary, and writing. The aim is not to be a walking encyclopedia. It's who to appreciate the beauty of human diversity. Another critical element of cultural wisdom is to listen without jumping to judgment. When a person shares their perspective, you want to avoid the knee-jerk reaction to validate or invalidate their perspective. Instead, pose thoughtful questions. Seek to understand other people before you reply. Doing this not only reinforces your own understanding, but it facilitates people feeling valued in your presence. The most alluring people aren't those who monopolize a conversation with their intellect. They're the ones who know when to chime in, when to just listen, when to prompt for deeper reflection. When you design for cultural wisdom, others don't merely remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel. How about, "So, am I willing to learn from everyone I meet?" You aren't trying to dazzle other people with what you know. You're cultivating a quiet knowledge that talks through what you do, how you know, and how you meet people at a subtle level of understanding. And when you have this mindset, you project a calm, intellectual depth that makes people want to be around you, not because you're trying to impress them, but because you really care about understanding both the world and the people in it. But now, in a world that is constantly rushing through conversations and never slowing down, be that person, the one who is deeply curious, engaging, and considerate. You become more than attractive. You become unforgettable when you gain cultural wisdom. Habit number 7, the rhythm of love. When everyone around you is running to the next thing, taking time to show authentic kindness and understanding will make you unique. Compassion isn't loud. It isn't performative. It's a gentle, steady force that allows people to feel safe, valued, and understood in your presence. Although lots of people try to impress others by being charming, charismatic, entertaining, winning others over through more shallow means, no, real attraction lies way deeper than this. Attraction comes from being someone who listens, who cares, and who is warm without expecting something in return. Compassion isn't some big, public show of kindness, and it's in the tiniest of gestures. A thoughtful word, a patient ear, a moment of silence and comprehension for someone when it's needed most. These are the things people take away. Real kindness is rare in a world in which so many exchanges can feel transactional. But somebody who gives without any expectation of getting anything, of course, you stand out. People are attracted to those who elicit a sense of validation instead of harsh criticism. Compassion is the bridge that connects us all as human beings. It gives rise to emotional bonds that make people want to be with you. Not because you make them laugh or entertain them, but because you make them feel respected and valued. The Stoics, commonly mistaken for the non-affectionate, promoted empathy and kindness as core virtues. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Stoic compassion isn't that sweet, mushy stuff. It is a deep understanding of the hard battles that others face with fortitude. When you come to life this way, you are a person who people can trust, not because you are the person who always has the right answers, but simply because being around makes people feel calmer, more reassured, and emotionally grounded. Being compassionate does not mean allowing yourself to be used. It's about balance, being nice but not a doormat, being caring but not taking on everyone's emotional baggage. It begins with listening, in the sense of not just formulating a carefully crafted response, but of truly listening to understand. If you hear someone sharing their impacts, in that moment, don't jump to offer advice or solutions. Sometimes they just want to feel heard, not have the solution provided. It is also about being patient with others and yourself. Nobody is perfect and life is complicated. That's a sign of emotional maturity, you showing patience in difficult moments. And that's low-key sexy. People remember those who stayed calm and kind when things went south. They might not talk about it, but they will hold on to that memory, and that is what makes you quietly attractive. Ask yourself, do I help others feel seen and valued? If the answer isn't always yes, that's all right. More like this. Compassion is a habit that can be become over time. The first step is to be nice to yourself. A cup cannot be poured from an empty container. Tending to your emotional wellness enables you to be present for others in truly healthy, grounded, and impactful ways. To be human is to be flawed, and to approach others with compassion does not mean we should do so perfectly. It doesn't mean you have to have the right words or the perfect response all the time. It simply means being there, being real, being kind. And that quiet kindness, that has an impact that no words can do. Ultimately, compassion isn't about transforming the world in a day. It's about changing the way you're in it. Be the one who listens instead of speaks, who gives without receipt, who is patient in frustration. Silent attraction isn't about noise, it's about presence. And compassion, given earnestly and without flourish, is one of the most potent forms of presence there is. Habit number 8, rejoice and find humor in your circumstances. And one of the most universally attractive things out there is a shining, joyous person who can laugh at his own jokes. People who can be humorous about things are undeniably attractive. Someone with a light in his heart is warmth to all. However, it can be also overwhelming with challenges and uncertainties. But when you cultivate the ability to laugh even in the face of adversity, it represents something powerful. Not a foolish ignorance of reality, but a kind of strength that allows you to exist in this world with buoyancy and hope. It's not about who can be loudest in a room, the center of attention. It's about noticing small moments and sharing in a quiet smile, and even finding laughter to connect. So when you carry this energy, people around you start feeling naturally comfortable around you because they know that you cannot be shaken easily from the ups and downs of life. It is said that laughter brings you together. Consider all the friendships that are rooted in inside jokes, shared funny moments, and the sheer pleasure of someone's presence. Joy is contagious. When you take it upon yourself to joke about life, you create a sense of energy that's magnetic. Not because you're doing all that much to be funny, but because you are something that's light and follows an easy static. Stoicism, seen by many as a dour philosophy, actually promotes this mindset. The Stoics say we can control what happens to us, how we react. As Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Here, humor and joy become subversive acts of quiet rebellion in the face of stress, anxiety, and a world outside in disarray. Deciding to find the funny, even when nothing feels certain, reminds the world that you own your way of feeling, that you can accept life's unknowns with a delightful, calm, collected spirit. But developing this habit isn't about cracking jokes or becoming the funniest person in the room. It's about accepting joy the way it's supposed to feel. It means not taking yourself so seriously and letting yourself open up to happiness in this moment. To build this habit, pay attention to the moments of joy in your daily life. If something makes you smile, lean into it. If a situation feels stressful, find a way to lighten it. Share your laughter with others, not in a way that steals the show, but in a way that creates a shared experience. Another significant aspect of this habit is placing yourself amongst people who elevate you. Surround yourself with those that bring out your best self. Remind you of the humor in life's challenges, that not everything needs to be serious all the time. Joy is a practice, and when you weave it into your everyday life, your energy becomes one that people crave to be around. You might ask yourself, am I allowing joy into my life? Am I allowing myself to enjoy the little moments, or am I too fixated on what's next? Laughing and having fun doesn't make you less smart, less driven, less serious about your path. They just help you become a person who can tolerate the toughness of life with resilience, warmth, and quiet confidence. Silent attraction isn't a huge statement. It's the energy you bring with you into the room. And when you carry lightness, joy, and a sense of humor in your presence, not only do people want to spend time with you, people feel better about themselves in your presence. Habit number 9. Mind the masterpiece. There's an irrefutable magnetism in someone who truly maintains themselves, not out of vanity, but out of self-respect. Self-care isn't just about skincare and working out. It's about loving yourself enough to take care of your body, mind, and soul. You show the world you care about yourself when you put yourself with mindfulness first. I own my happiness and my health. And that calm self-assurance is inherently appealing. Self-care is not about what you indulge in. It's about what you put into your life on the regular. It requires committing to habits that allow you to feel balanced, energized, and mentally clear. A body that is well cared for and healthy reflects both discipline and self-respect. You don't have to look like a model, but taking care of your physical health through regular movement, good nutrition, and adequate rest carries a strong message. People, even unconsciously, respect when someone takes the time to take care of themselves. But self-care is not only about the body, it's about mental and emotional fitness too. Life is stressful, and we each have struggles. However, there are common habits exhibited by those who practice self-care that find them in a better position to cope with stress and its impact. Whether it is in meditation, journaling, establishing boundaries, or simply taking time to recharge, nurturing your core self enables you to be peaceful and serene. The Stoics believed in maintaining balance and inner harmony. As Seneca wrote, "A sound mind in a sound body is the foundation of a happy life." When you put yourself first, you generate an internal confidence that people can feel. Self-care includes boundaries too. It means knowing when to decline and when to recover and when to guard your energy. People who have enough self-respect to set boundaries naturally command the respect of others. It indicates that your time, energy, and wellness are important, not in an arrogant way, but in a manner that also shows you have self-worth. Are you treating yourself in a manner that is consistent with your self-respect? If the answer is no, begin small. Prioritize self-care as an overdue need in your daily life. Whether it's sleeping enough, eating well, or taking time for mindfulness, these tiny habits add up over the long run, influencing how you feel and how other people see you. The paradox of self-care is that it is not selfish. It's necessary. Because when you take care of you, you show up in every area of your life the best you can. You're more energized, more patient, and more focused on purpose. And that quiet sense of balance and self-respect, it's deeply attractive. People pay attention to those who seem put together without it being an effort, not because they're trying to impress anyone, but because they've created an environment and lifestyle that makes them feel good from the inside out. Ultimately, self-care isn't about how you appear, but about how dedicated you are to yourself. It's in the small, consistent commitments we make to ourselves day to day that ultimately, over time, our energy, confidence, and presence reflect a life that is balanced, grounded, and quietly strong. Habit 10: Emotional intelligence and social awareness. There's an ease of magnetic energy within someone that gets to energetically know what other people are going through. Be quietly attractive. Most underestimated habits. Welcome to the wiser school of living. This isn't about game playing or attempting to control how others see you. It's being attuned to the emotional fabric of any setting, perceiving social cues, acting with empathy, managing interactions with tact and insight. Essentially, emotional intelligence is about being aware of your own feelings, analyzing your feelings, regulating your feelings, and being sensitive to those feelings of others. Put yourself in a high-pressure moment where everybody is edgy. A person with strong emotional intelligence doesn't throw a match on the gas pile, going off half-cocked. Instead, they are calm, composed, and perceptive. They listen before they speak, think before they act, and react mindfully instead of emotionally. That quiet composure makes them a person whom people instinctively respect and seek out for advice. They may not remember what you said, but they remember how you made them feel. Empathy and emotional intelligence create a culture of being heard, understood, and safe. You realize you will be a man of peace, not of confusion, a man of rest, not of instability, a man of wisdom, not of impulsiveness. Social awareness is the polar opposite. The skill to read the room, shift, view differing social scenes, and engage people as if they're your easiest canvas. It means knowing when to speak up, when to listen, when to lean in, and when to step back. The Stoics stressed the advantages of controlling oneself and knowing thyself. Epictetus: "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This principle is at the core of social awareness. It enables you to be involved, not just wait for your turn to speak. Self-awareness is the first step towards developing your emotional intelligence. Ask, how do I usually respond in emotionally high-stakes moments? Do I let my emotions to take the lead here, or do step back and respond? The aim is not to squash emotions, but rather to figure out how to handle them. When you know your own triggers, you have this inner steadiness that makes you resilient, emotionally strong, and naturally attractive. After you develop self-awareness, the next step is empathy. I am not here to judge the world anyway. I am here to understand the world. It's about paying attention to what isn't said, understanding the feelings behind what people say, and replying in a way that makes them feel heard. This doesn't entail absorbing other people's problems, taking on emotional baggage that isn't yours. It just means affecting the way you seem in your interactions such that people feel respected, valued, and safe around you. Social awareness includes being conscious of the energy you bring into a space as well. Do you bring a sense of calm, or do you contribute to tension without knowing? When you enter a room, pay attention before you do anything. Notice the unproductive dynamics that are engaged. You are able to sense the mood, body language, and tone of a conversation, and are then able to adjust to it in such a way that people feel relaxed in your presence. To develop this habit, practice being present in conversations. Put aside distractions, make eye contact, and listen to understand, not to respond. It is in these small, mindful actions can sound simple, but with a far-reaching impact. The very people who make them feel heard, understood, respected are those who they are naturally attracted towards. The question to ask yourself: am I someone who creates a positive space around them with their interactions, or are they unintentionally adding tension? Once you start approaching social situations from this place of emotional intelligence, you'll see a change happen. People will come to seek your presence, not because you force yourself to be noticed, but simply because your presence feels solid, comforting, and wise. Against the backdrop of the many interactions today that are ego-driven, impulsive, and emotive, emotional intelligence shines bright. It's a quiet strength that does not need to announce itself. It's felt. When you build emotional intelligence and social awareness, you become a person who glides through life with grace, calmness, and subtle power. And that silent confidence, it's irresistibly attractive. Habit number 11, being consistent and reliable. There are few things more quietly attractive than someone who is consistent, and therefore reliable. In a world where everyone is overstating their potential and under-delivering, be the woman who delivers and shows up for what matters most. It's not about doing big things or seeking applause. It's about establishing trust, slowly, a day, then a day, then a day at a time, through what you do. When people know they can count on you for support, guidance, or even just for following through, it deepens a silent, nuanced respect. You need not announce your reliability. It is demonstrated through your actions over time. Reliability isn't about never missing an appointment. It's about showing up, even when showing up is inconvenient. It's being the type of person who, when they say they're going to do something, does it. Consider how much of a rarity that is today, that so many people back out of plans at the last minute, make false promises, or only turn up when it serves them. But if you deliver as you promise, week in and week out, you become distinctive. Not because you're raucous, but because your silent perseverance is heard and made note of. The Stoics stressed discipline and living according to your values. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius advised, "Don't waste the rest of your time here worrying about other people, except in the case where they can improve your own acts of love. Be one." And consistency is the manifestation of that principle. You needn't speak to your values, live them, and people will notice. There is a kind of attraction that is magnetic as the quiet power of being reliable. People respect you, they trust you. They respect you not because you lord it over them, but because you do what you say you're going to do. Being consistent is also a sign of self-respect. When you are dependable, you are not only honoring commitments that you have made to other people, you're honoring commitments that you made to yourself. Be you. Whether you're staying true to your principles, working toward your goals, or just maintaining habits. Living a consistent life builds an unshakable inner confidence. So, to build this habit, make tiny commitments to yourself and others. If you say you're going to do something, do it, regardless of how inconsequential it may seem. Each of these actions contribute to a much larger whole over time. You establish a reputation, not by grand pronouncements, but by ground-level, consistent activity. Reliability also refers to emotional consistency. That means being someone who isn't volatile, moody, or reactive. Those who provide an air of evenness and reassurance in life will naturally attract people. Asking yourself, am I a person other people can rely on? Do I keep my commitments, or do I make excuses? If the answer isn't always yes, that's fine. Reputation isn't established overnight. It is established through small daily choices. Silent attraction isn't about garnering attention, it's about gaining respect over numbers. And reliability above all earns the kind of trust and admiration that endures. A conclusion. The power of silent attraction. Genuine appeal isn't about being the loudest, the flashiest, or the most visible person in the room. It's about developing habits that silently garner respect, admiration, and trust. When you shine through true independence, others can feel your strength without force. When you have become the silent kind of beautiful, your very being is compelling without the need to offer anything. Your behavior becomes extremely relevant when you develop wisdom, being in the moment, and compassion. A solid foundation of quiet confidence, emotional intelligence, and self-respect is built from each of these habits. Silent attraction isn't about becoming someone different. It's about aligning with more of your better self. It's about how you hold yourself. Purposeful, rooted, subtle. These habits keep them focused on being the best person they can be. And you don't need to chase attention. It comes to you. Not because their attempt, but because your existence is more than enough. Stay true to yourself. Keep growing. And allow your quiet confidence to remake how the world sees you.